Hello people, and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines Modular Builds. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for 700 subscribers. We hit the milestone earlier this week, and you guys have been really enjoying these modular builds, which is really great. And don't forget, if you may be stuck for inspiration in your city and you can't quite figure out what to build next, and you're kind of just bored of zoning roads and then zoning on them, and maybe you want to do something like a little green commercial park, or a low density neighbourhood, or a downtown plaza, or some nice green commercial, or perhaps a little tram park. Whatever you're kind of stuck for inspiration for, get some suggestions down in the comments and I'll see if I can put a modular build together for your own city. I'm always happy to kind of do stuff like that. But today what we're going to be working on is a commercial monorail park. Now, monorails come with the mass transit DLC. However, you can replace this with any other public transport that you like. You can do trams if you have snowfall. Maybe you don't have mass transit. But for this particular example, I'm going to be using the monorail. So, let's go ahead and dive in. So, from this point here, your already existing public transport network, for obviously this example, is monorail. I'm just going to come ahead and draw out a little point. Just like that, but I'm going to make sure I actually use my monorail road. There we go. So just hook it into your already existing public transport system, whatever that public transport is. And then we're going to use this point here as our starting reference. So I'm going to use the large avenue with grass for this. However, you can use any of the medium roads. The 4-lane road decorative trees looks quite nice, alongside kind of the one with the grass median in the middle. It really doesn't matter, but I'm going to be using the large avenue with grass. So I'm going to start from this snap point here, and then I'm going to come out by a cost of 300, which is a measurement of 5 tiles. We know we hit 5 when we see that second blue line appear. There we go, and we're going to do that on each side. So we have something that looks a little bit like that. And then from each of these points that we just created, we're going to come out by a cost of 2,280, which is a fair old distance away. There we go. So that's essentially like 48 tiles. It's quite a way. And then we're going to do the same on this side as well. So we have a nice big kind of strip forming right now, which is going to be quite nice. I'm just going to go ahead and delete some of these trees that are in the way. There we go. Okay. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's nice and easy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come ahead and grab my parks and plazas. And again, you can kind of use any of these that you like. I'm going to go with the plaza with trees. You can maybe chuck in a couple of basketball courts. You can mix and match. If you have park life, feel free to create your own park assets along these strips here. It really doesn't matter. But just for kind of a nice bit of symmetry, I'm going to use the park plaza with trees. And I'm going to place 2 of these on each side. And I'm leaving a 1 tile space right here. So you can just see that on each side of this road. There should be 1 tile left. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a road. A one-way road. Again, any one-way road will do. I would recommend either the road with grass or decorative trees, where it does look quite nice with this particular build. So just decide which one you want. But the one-way system is going to help keep traffic flowing in the area. And for these, we're going to come out with a cost of 480 on each side, and that's going to allow us to tuck right in behind these park plazas and box them in nicely within the road. Okay. So I'm just going to come up to the edge of them there. It's nice and simple. So we're going to return to the middle here now, and this is where I'm going to grab my next station. So with the monorail stuff, you do have a monorail station that tucks onto the side of the road. You can use this if you like. There's a couple of different formations you can do. You can either place them like this, and then have your monorail split in different directions. So if you wanted to come out here, and maybe connect up like this, then you can do. This is a really nice way of splitting your monorail off into different directions. So maybe you could head over there, and one could head over this direction. And if you wanted to take it to another part of the city, you can do that way if you like, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is actually go ahead and drop in a monorail station with road Now I'm just going to try and line this up. Unfortunately, the snapping on these things isn't great. So I'm going to try and line it up essentially as possible. Probably about there. So that's going to give me a road in the middle. And a monorail station in the middle as well. So I'm going to go ahead now and hook this into my monorail network, which is kind of hanging out here. And then this guy is going to flow all the way through the middle of the strip and out, and then as you continue expanding your city, you would carry on factoring in a monorail network in there. It's nice and easy, nice and simple. Now we're going to hook this monorail station up to these roads. Again, you can use any road you want as long as it's a small road. I want to go for the one with grass. And just some nice simple connections either side at 90-degree angles, and that's going to hook my monorail station into this road here. Okay, nice and simple. Super. So now we're going to come back to our one-way road. No, we're not. We're going to go to our parks and plazas. And now if we place a road here, we can see that we actually block this road here, which is not what we want to do. So we have a space of 4 tiles between this intersection and the next park. So we're going to imitate that on this side as well. Just by moving it over one more actually. There we go. So there's 5 tiles in between. Then we're going to place 2 more here. And then again, parallel with this side. So right now, everything is perfectly symmetrical. We have the same distance between the parks. And then I'm going to carry on that one-way system right now. We're going to carry on down here, and then we're going to tuck into the park. So just keep the one-way system flowing around the parks. So you should have something that looks a little bit like that right now. If you like, you can also connect the system up via here, but it's not really necessary. You can probably connect them up down here as well. It's really up to you. Depends what kind of buildings you want to throw in here to make it what it could be. Apologies if you can hear the construction work outside at the moment. So now we're going to paint out a district for this entire area. So let's box in all that we've built. There we go. And now we're going to apply our specialization. For this, I'm using leisure, which comes with After Dark, but you can use the green cities, organic and local produce if you like, or the IT cluster for your office. Doesn't matter which one, whichever kind of style you want this thing to develop in. And then these big blocks along the back like this are going to be zoned as commercial. Let's go ahead and hook these guys into the water network, and then we should see them begin to develop. So here they come, and some nice guys growing along the side now. We'll start to see some stuff growing over here as well. Now this place is going to look really sweet at night, which I'll show you at the end after we've done some little detailing bits. And, yeah. So we'll just let this grow. I'll talk a little bit about what you can do with these spaces. So if you have park life, you can go ahead and throw in a bunch of different park assets in here if you like, and make your own little kind of mini park, which will help with drawing people to the area and using your monorail system. However, for those without park life, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw in a couple of paths. You can choose any path you like. I'm going to use particularly the city park paths. I'm just going to draw in a little point like that, and I may connect them through the middle as well. So I'll do the same here, even 2 blocks each side, and then that middle snap node will hook nicely into the middle. In terms of these zonings along the side as well, you can also pop in some commercial. You can maybe switch this out for office zoning. You definitely want to keep residential out of this build. I suppose you could do this as a residential build, having residences on the side, but mix and match in the nightlife, which causes a lot of noise pollution. If we have a look on the noise thing here, you can see everything is very red, and the monorail station produces noise as well. You know, if you have any residents in this immediate area, they are going to become pretty upset pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and detail this thing, throw in some bushes and some trees and maybe a couple of little more beautification assets as well. And then we'll come back and check this place out at night time once it's fully grown and see what we end up with. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, so I've finished running some detailing and I'll just run over a couple of ideas we have before we jump into kind of a cinematic pan and check this area out during the night time as well. So using the Mod Beautification mod, PC players can get access to a whole bunch of stuff, but even if you're on console and you have part life, you can create little areas like this alongside the paths, almost like little food courts, you know, for maybe people pouring out of the nightclubs at night, placing a couple of tables as well. If you don't have part life, you can still make these areas look interesting by placing a couple of large bushes surrounded by some small ones, a couple of little rocks, and then some very few large trees just as little focus points to kind of look at to fill these little spaces between your plazas. Within the monorail line, rather than just leaving this empty between the two buildings, you can place a whole bunch of like kind of undergrowth to make it look quite overgrown. I've used the oil industry fence to make it look like it is kind of a secure area. You know, you can't just walk under the monorail behind the buildings here. You know, it's where kind of maintenance would happen, and you know, it's off limits to the public. And so there's a fence on either side, and then a couple of trees that I've kind of sprouted up as the years have passed by, and it looks really neat rather than just leaving it as kind of empty grass space. It just adds a little bit more personality to it. But yeah, also surrounded the main station with some bushes, a couple of statues and some nice colourful trees. And yeah, you can really take this in any direction you like. Again, it doesn't have to be nightlife. You can do local organic produce, you can do IT clusters, you can do tourism if you like. But let's jump into a little cinematic look at this particular build at night time, and you can see how awesome it looks with the leisure specialisation stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, a like below is very much appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. And again, let me know if you do end up using this in your city, and if you like it. And yeah, again, if you have any suggestions for modular builds, maybe you're stuck for inspiration for something in your city, and you want to build something a little more special and dedicated to a particular district like this, rather than just endlessly zoning street after street after street, then let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can put something together. We have already had a couple of suggestions. There is a farmland in the pipeline as well using the Industries DLC. And we're also going to do a couple of more ideas as well that people have brought up on live stream. But get them in the comments of these episodes anyway, and maybe we can do the most liked comment will feature in the next episode of Modular Builds. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the outro, Taj, and I'll speak to you very soon.